that gratitude extends outward to the physical spaces they inhabited, too. We have another source here discussing the 5-foot way.
Oh, the 5-foot way. Explain that for someone who hasn't walked through the streets of Singapore or Penang.
So it refers to the covered walkways at the front of traditional shop houses. By law, they had to be exactly 5 feet wide to protect pedestrians from the tropical sun and the heavy monsoon rains.
Right.
But socially, the 5-foot way was basically the internet of the 19th and early 20th centuries. It's where all the business happened, where kids played, where all the neighborhood gossip spread.
It was the timeline, the feed, and the marketplace all rolled into one physical space.
Precisely. So when the channel releases a music version of the Time of 5-Foot Way video, they aren't just showing you old architecture. They're trying to sonically recreate a social space.
They want you to feel the humidity and hear the chatter.
Yes, they are targeting sensory memory.
And this focus on sensory memory brings us to what I think is the absolute peak of this source stack, the 2026 New Year special. The creator literally called it an epic premiere and dropped it on the first day of the Lunar New Year.
The New Year Overture. This really is their magnum opus. The narrative arc described here is breathtaking. It spans a full century in just a few minutes of video.
It starts with this tiny microscopic interaction, a grandfather handing a grandchild a bowl of hot soup, and it ends with this massive telescopic view of the star sea of Chinatown lights. But let's zoom in on that bowl for a second. The notes specifically call it a Rooster Bowl.
The Rooster Bowl is incredibly iconic in the diaspora. It was cheap, it was durable, and it was everywhere. If you ate street food in Singapore or Hong Kong in the 60s or 70s, you ate it from a Rooster Bowl.
But the creator actually asks themselves a question in the description. They ask, why are we so obsessed with restoring old details? Why does it matter if the bowl is the exact right kind of bowl?
And the answer they give is profound. They write that the warmth in that Rooster Bowl was the spiritual pillar that supported them through the journey to Nanyang.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you are a coolie working grueling hours on the docks, or a Samsui woman carrying heavy bricks, that single hot meal in that specific bowl is the only comfort you have all day.
It's not just crockery, it's a survival tool.
Exactly. It recontextualizes the whole thing. It's not about being a picky antique dealer. It's about honoring the exact thing that kept your ancestors alive. That bowl represents survival.
And this video isn't just some generic holiday celebration. The sources show it has 3 very specific dedications. And these dedications really map out the entire philosophy of the channel.
They do. First, obviously, it's dedicated to the ancestors, the people who built the foundation.
Right, the ones with the wind and frost on their faces.
Second, I found this one very moving. It's dedicated to the wanderers, the modern diaspora. The creator explicitly mentions people living in Taiwan, Hong Kong, or anywhere overseas. And the message to them is, the way home is in the lights.
The way home is in the lights. That is going to stick with me. It's basically telling them that shared culture is a portable home, no matter where you are.
Exactly. And the third dedication.
Oh, right. The third is to the future. The hope that the next generation, while they are sitting there enjoying their modern prosperity and air conditioning, remembers the temperature in the bloodline.
Temperature in the bloodline. They really have a way with words. It makes history sound like heat. Not a dusty book, but something you actually feel pulsing in you.
But before we get too heavy here, the sources also gave us a glimpse behind the curtain that I think is hilarious and really important.
Oh, are you talking about the bloopers?
The bloopers, yes.
The director revealed that this incredibly emotional, poignant scene with the grandfather and the hot soup.
It's a total disaster on set.
Complete disaster. They had constant NG takes, no good, takes people just cracking up, ruining the shot.
I love that. It's always like that behind the scenes.
And I think it's vital that they shared that. Because if you treat history with too much reverence, it becomes stiff. It turns into a stone statue. Knowing that there was laughter and joy in the reenactment of these memories makes it feel much more true to the actual Nanyang spirit.
Right. These people didn't just suffer and build things. They laughed, they joked, they lived full lives.
Yeah.
It humanizes the production so much, reminds us that memory is messy and joyful.
Absolutely.
But okay, we have covered the emotion. We really need to talk about the sheer spectacle of it all. Because for the 2026 celebration, this channel basically went to war.
They literally called it a cultural breakout battle.
Which is aggressive. Breakout battle.
It sounds aggressive, but think about the digital landscape they are operating in. You are fighting for attention against global TikTok trends, endless news cycles, celebrity gossip. If you want to make millions of people care about 19th century history, you have to bring the heavy weapons.
And in this context, heavy weapons means high production fireworks and giant CGI dragons.
Exactly. The New Year's Eve grand fireworks ceremony video describes this incredible light and shadow dragon crossing the thousand-year lights of Chinatown and culminating in massive fireworks at MBS.
Marina Bay Sands. That visual contrast is everything. You have the low-rise, red-tiled roofs of old Chinatown on one side, and then dominating the background, you have the ultra-futuristic, spaceship-looking Marina Bay Sands.
It is a visual thesis statement for the whole channel. The dragon connects the two. It says we are not choosing between the past and the future. We are claiming both.
There is one last short video in the stack that drives this home with a brilliant sci-fi twist. We mentioned future armor earlier with Mulan, but it comes back here.
Yes, the future armor video. In this one, you have a character decked out in full high-tech sci-fi battle gear. But in their armored hand, they are holding a 1946 warm family letter.
The juxtaposition is jarring, but it works perfectly. The creator describes this connection as spanning from the Qin wind of the Great Qin to the drizzle of Nanyang.
That phrase is pure poetry. Qin wind refers to the Qin dynasty, which represents the ancient foundational roots of Chinese civilization.
And Nanyang drizzle is the specific localized tropical experience of the diaspora in Southeast Asia.
Right, so the core message is the tech changes. You might be wearing ancient silk robes, or you might be wearing a mechanical mech suit. You might be sailing in a wooden junk boat or flying a starship. But that letter...
That connection to family, that stays exactly the same.
Precisely. The warmth of the letter is the constant variable. Technology changes the armor, changes the location changes, but the emotional core remains constant. And I think that brings us to the big takeaway for this entire deep dive.
It really does, because when we started, we talked about AI and technology often being seen as the enemy of tradition. Like the more we look at our screens, the more we forget who we actually are. That is the common narrative we hear all the time.
But Chuan Gay Ying Yuan proves the exact opposite is possible. Here, technology isn't erasing tradition at all. It is giving it new armor. It's acting as a hyper-advanced preservation tool.
It allows a creator to take a fading memory, like the smell of a 5-foot way or the sound of a Samsui woman working, and blast it out in stunning 4K resolution with a rock soundtrack.
It makes the past loud again. It forces you to look at it not out of some boring obligation to history, but because it looks objectively cool and sounds amazing.
It's democratizing history. You don't need to go sit in a stuffy lecture hall to learn about your roots. You can find them in a 60-second clip while you're commuting on the train.
It's about saving national memories that shouldn't be forgotten and doing it in a language that actually resonates with the digital generation.
It really is inspiring. It makes you realize that your smartphone isn't just a distraction device. It could be a museum if you use it right.
That's a great way to look at it.
I want to leave you listening with a thought from the creator because they asked a question in one of their community posts that really stopped me in my tracks. They asked, where are you watching this right now? And does your New Year's Eve dinner have that reassuring aroma?
That reassuring aroma. It is such a grounding question. It pulls you right out of the screen and back into your physical body.
So that is our challenge to you today. We've been talking about digital time capsules and AI dragons and future armor, but look around you right now.
What is your Rooster Bowl?
Exactly. What is the physical object or the specific smell or the piece of music that anchors you to your own history?
Find your anchor. Because as we've seen today, even in a world of future armor, you still need that warm letter from 1946.
Something to mull over. Thanks for taking this journey into the light and shadow with us. This has been The Deep Dive. We will catch you next time.